Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it's Burning Abyss. I think this is my third version of the deck on my channel. It's a very versatile deck. You can play it so many different ways. This is just 3 ways out of probably thousands of different ways you could play the deck. Really, really fun. It's not as budget as it normally would, mostly just because of 2 specific cards that we play. Cherubini, it's gone up in price. It's pretty much tripled in price. It was about a $10 card. Now it's looking like around 30. And then IP Masquerena. There's really not a viable replacement for Cherubini, but IP Masquerena, you don't have to play it. It's just another way of getting your end board to just have an interruption on your opponent's turn. But otherwise, the rest of the deck is pretty manageable as far as price goes. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, go and subscribe. Got awesome stuff coming up. I'm actually waiting on 2 more Solemn Warnings. Once those come in, I'm going to be having quite a few decks utilizing Solemn Warning at 3. So stay tuned for those, and we'll get going on this one. Starting off with a very, very good card, Farfa. He's at 3. He's very good, so we play 3 of them. Basically, if he is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 monster on the field and banish it until the end phase. So it does come back, but it's basically getting a monster off the board that could potentially, cause problems for you. So play Farfa at 3. Scar, I really like at 3 as well. During the end phase of the turn that this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 3 dark fiend type monster from your deck to your hand. So it's a very good searcher. It's got 2000 defense, so pretty good there as well. 2 Alec. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and negate its effects. So that comes up quite a bit. That's why I played at 2. And then just 1 Graph. He's going to special summon from the deck. 1 Burning Abyss monster from the deck if he's sent to the grave. And then 1 Seer. If he's sent to the grave, you can target 1 Burning Abyss monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's just a Burning Abyss monster. So if you get Dante to the grave, you can even special summon Dante back with his effect. It won't have materials, but it's still a way of getting a body on board. We only play those at 1 for very obvious reasons. They are only at 1. If they were at 3, we'd play these for sure at 3. They're amazing cards. 1 Libic. I always go back and forth with him at 1 or 2. In this version, I've chose to play him at 1 because he can kind of... so basically, the Burning Abyss effects, if you control a monster that is not a Burning Abyss monster, you have to destroy the card. So his effect is you can special summon 1 level 3 dark fiend type monster from your hand, but its effects are negated. So that negates their destroying themselves effect. And then we are playing 1 Calcab. He's okay. He's good against trap heavy decks. If he's sent to the grave, you just target 1 set spell and trap on the field and return to the hand. And then the last Burning Abyss monster we play in the main deck is Barbar. If he's sent to the grave, you can target up to 3 Burning Abyss cards in your graveyard and banish them, and then you inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each. So some good burn damage there, and ways of banishing cards for like Levier to then revive them back or whatever. And then we play our most obvious normal summons are 3 Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Fiend type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And then if he's sent to the grave, you can send 1 fiend type monster from your deck to your grave. So he basically, once he's sent to the grave, he becomes any of these. He's going to send any one of those that you need to the grave. And his first effect is important because of their effect that blows themselves up. If you normal summon him, and if you control no spells, you can special summon the Burning Abyss monsters. And then he won't get blown up because fiend type monsters cannot be destroyed by card effect, so even their own. So he protects your Burning Abysses. And then we now have it at 2, Tour Guide from the Underworld. Very, very good for this deck for obvious reasons. When it's just normal summoned, you just special summon a level 3 Fiend monster from your hand or deck, and it has its effects negated. So, normal summon, special summon any of these that you want their effect to go off, make a Dante, detach the Burning Abyss, and then get his effect off. So just a 1-card Dante and whatever other effect you need as well. So very, very good. Dante or Cherubini, obviously. I played 1 Radian. Kaijus are really good in certain situations, and we play Allure of Darkness. So playing just one of the dark Kaiju, just seemed right for me. It got high attack as well. But you're more than likely not going to be special summoning it to your side. It'll be on your opponent's. But with this card, you'll easily be able to get over it. Blackluster Soldier, decided to play that in this one. You'll see some more of the light monsters that we play to get his effect off. But you're milling a lot of stuff, so you should be able to special summon him if you happen to have him in hand. But you just banish 1 light and 1 dark, and then you get him on the field, and he can either target a monster in the field and banish it, or if he destroys a monster by battle, he can then make a 2nd attack, and he's 3,000 attack as well. And the last of the monsters we play are just some hand traps. Play 3 Effect Veiler and 3 Ghost Ogre. They're light, so again for Blackluster Soldier, you can play whatever you want, but I just found these are pretty generic. They do a lot of stuff well against a lot of decks, so they hurt a lot of decks. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells, our main draw power is going to be Allure of Darkness. We play a lot of darks, so it should be pretty obvious to play Allure of Darkness. Very, very good card. And then Pot of Avarice is also extremely good in this deck because you're milling a lot. So all you need is 5 monsters in the grave. You just target them, shuffle them in the deck, and then just draw 2. So really, really good in this deck. Monster Reborn, again, you're going to be milling a lot, so you can special summon from the grave pretty easily. 1 Foolish Burial. This card just becomes any Burning Abyss you need. Any Burning Abyss effect that hits the grave, this card becomes. So very, very good. Card Destruction. You can have a lot of card effects going off at once with this card. If you have, 2 or 3 Burning Abyss in hand, activate this. You're going to be refilling your hand plus getting a bunch of effects off in the grave. So that card's no brainer. And then the last of the spells is Called by the Grave. It's a important card now because hopefully you'll be seeing either Tour Guide or Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and people love to hit these, or hit Tour Guide with Ash or Effect Veiler, and then same thing with Fiendish Rhino. They like to hit it with Effect Veiler to try to mess you up, and then Called by the Grave just allows you to keep going with your plays, and it's also a very good defensive card, so we like it in this deck. And then for the traps, 2 Dinomischus, because you just target 1 face-up card in the field, discard a card, and if you do, you banish it. So very good defensively just there. But then, if you're discarding a Farfa off of its effect, you're then banishing another card. So depending on what you have in hand, this card can become really crazy and really hurt your opponent. And then 2 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Again, you discard a card, target 1 card your opponent controls, and place that target on top of the deck. So it's a way of not having something go to the grave again. A lot of the decks don't mind that, so these 2 are very good for that. And again, discarding even a Scarm, to then search is not a bad thing. And the last 2 we play are Fiend Griefing. This one, if your opponent's playing a graveyard reliant strategy, then you can just target 1 monster in the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and then you can send 1 fiend type monster from your deck to your graveyard. So again, this becomes any Burning Abyss effect that you need at the time. Very good. So yeah, as you can see with a lot of the card choices, we can go first or second pretty easily. I like decks like that. I try to build a lot of mine to where they can go first and second easily, and then you just side deck for whatever matchups and take out cards. You know, if you're going second, you could probably take these out for some other going second cards. You know, kaijus are always good, dark holes, stuff like that. And then for the extra deck, I decided to go with 3 Dante. It's not necessary to play 3. It will become Master Rule 5 because you can easily make, not easily, but it's possible to make, you know, 3 Dantes on board. A little more doable than now. But I like 3. It's just, I felt like I had some room in the extra deck to play 3. 1 Beatrice. It's an amazing card. We'd play it at 2 if we could, because it's that good of a card. Basically, you just discard a card, and then you can place this on top of Dante, and then you're going to be sending, during either player's turn, you detach material and send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. So again, it can become any effect, and then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can then summon out Dante Pilgrim. He's very good as well. You just send 1 Burning Abyss card from your hand to the graveyard and draw 1. And then he cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect. And then if he is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle or card effect, you can send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So he's got a lot of effects that your opponent usually doesn't want to see. 1 Break Sword, just a generic rank 3 other than Dante. He's pretty decent. You just are going to target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy him. So just easy destruction. 1 Leviair. You're going to be you can banish. You're going to be banishing quite a bit. So depending on what monsters you banish, you can just get a free monster on board with Leviair if you so go that route, and then you can go into some of your links or whatever. And that's actually the bulk of the rest of the extra deck. Just 1 Cherubini. I don't feel like you really need more than 1, because normally if after you make him, you're going to be wanting to make Dantes if you can. You know, a couple of those. So, but he's very good. He's just going to be, he just requires 2 level 3s, and he'll just send a level 3 monster from your deck to your graveyard. So very, very good. And I play the 1 IP Masquerena, fairly easy to make, and then it's just a disruption on your opponent's turn. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Those are all just generic removal that are, again, very easy to make in this deck. And then we play 1 Trisbania, 1 Topologic Bomber. These, again, they just require 2 effect monsters, so you can always link up into them. And then if you happen to special summon a monster to a zone they point to, he's going to be destroying all monsters in the main monster zone. And then he'll be banishing as many spell and traps on the field as possible. So against trap heavy, spell and trap heavy decks, and then against monster heavy decks. And then the last card is going to be Borload, just generic. You know, if something can't be targeted or destroyed by battle, you're just going to make a Borload, get through it, and more than likely win that game. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Again, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I've got tons of stuff coming up, awesome decks, some that are even more budget than this one. This one's not quite as budget with those 2 cards, but yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one.